Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Cherie McGinnis and I welcome you to our channel. I did finally get to change the name back to Cherie McGinnis instead of Cherie's Buddies. It's now Cherie McGinnis, and you can share it with whoever you like. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this video. What we're doing is the book study on the book of Fervent. And today we are on strategy 9, which is your hurts. We went through all the strategies. We're almost to the end. We've only got, I think, this one and one more, I believe, to go, because there's 10 strategies. Just to recap, strategy 1 was your passion, 2 was your focus, 3 was your identity, 4 was your family, 5 was your past, 6 was your fears, 7 your purity, 8 your pressures, 9, which is today, on your hurts. 10 will be on your relationships. That'll be the next one. Be the final one, I guess. But today is on your hurts. So that's where we're going to be starting on page 151 if you have the book. And you don't have to have the book. You can just kind of, I'm going to read out of the book some today and see how it goes. It is hotter than a firecracker today. Whew. I went out and push mowed some grass a while ago, and oh my gosh, you just step outside and you're drenched. Oh, it's awful. So Oscar's out there on the rider right now, finishing up the rest, and it takes about 3 or 4 hours to get the grass done. We've got almost 5 acres that we mow. Most of it we mow, I'll put it that way. But wow. And I have kittens. If you're on my Facebook group page, Cherie and Sisters in Christ, I posted a little picture there. I tried to post a video of them, but I don't know if it uploaded or not to it. But anyway, we've got 5 little kittens. She had them up in the loft. Is where she had them hidden last. I won't say she had them there, but it's where she hid them last. She had them in the corn crib, literally. Then they was in insulation there and stuff, and I think it got too hot for them. And she moved them up into the loft of the barn. So we went up there and got them. It's all plywood floored and everything. We'd use it for storage. And we went up there today because they're starting to move around now. And I thought, oh, what if they fall off there? Because, I mean, they just go off the side, you know. So we gathered them all up. We found them. They were scampery little things. We finally gathered them all up, put them in a clothes basket, and took them down to one of the big goat stalls that we've got. It's got a plywood floor. It's real nice. And we put them in there so they could romp and play, and we could play with them a little bit and get them used to being held and stuff, because, I mean, they're like, you know, there was one yesterday. It was spitting and hissing. I'm like, wow. And their little claws are like needles. But they're really cute. They're so cute. And they're all each unique. None of them's marked the same. Oh, they're so cute. But anyway, I'll try to get some pictures or a video or something maybe uploaded here for you of them. But they're cute as they could be. But anyway, we've got them in there now where we can hopefully get a hold of them and pet them. But that's basically all that's been going on, really. Nothing much else happening. Let's see, Labor Day weekend is this weekend, so everybody be careful and have a safe weekend there. Monday's Labor Day. We're supposed to get some rain, and one thing I do want to mention, I meant to mention this first and I got off track in my mind, is to pray for the people in Texas. Oh, I don't know how in the world, I can't even imagine what this, it's so sad, I just can't even imagine what those people are going through. I mean, that is so horrible. Love their hearts. Just pray for them and for all the people down there working, for everybody there. Horrific. And someone said they're supposed to get more rain. I don't know. I haven't watched the weather, but we're supposed to get some rain here, but nothing like what they got. I love their hearts. So please keep them in your prayers for a long time, okay? Because it's going to take a long time to get that all figured out. So please keep them in your prayers. What we're going to do today is talk about strategy number 9, which is called your hurts. And it's called turning bitterness into forgiveness. And boy, it's hard. I tell you, when people hurt you, it is humanly hard to forgive sometimes. almost all the time. I mean, depending on what they've done to you, I mean, it's pretty tough to forgive somebody and really mean it. I mean, they say I can forgive, but I'll never forget. You know, that's hard to do. I've been hurt by people many times. And I say we all have. I don't know of anybody that can say they've never been hurt by someone. But some things, you know, worse than others. But this talks about the bitterness and forgiveness and how God forgave us, you know, and we're supposed to forgive others. And even though it's hard, and it might not always be the position you might not be in to confront them or whatever about it as far as apologizing or let them know that you forgive them, you know. But in your heart, especially, you need to make sure that you talk to God about it and pray about it and forgive those that's hurt you so you can move on and clear yourself, you know. It starts out on page 151. If you don't mind, I'm going to read some to you, okay? It said, if I were your enemy, I'd use every opportunity to bring old wounds to mind, as well as the people, events, and circumstances that caused them. I'd try to ensure that your heart was hardened with anger and bitterness, shackled through unforgiveness. And if you hold a grudge and you keep that on yourself, you know, every time you hear that person's name, every time you see that person, every time you think about that person, you just come up with this, oh, you know, you just want to strangle them or something, you know. And it's just human nature, I guess, to feel that way. But it doesn't do us any good to hold those grudges like that. It hurts us more than it helps us. It talks about in 2 Corinthians 2, 5, and 7. It says, referring to a matter that had grown divisive in the Corinthian church he was addressing, you should rather turn to forgive. It says in 7 through 9 and 11, it said, you should rather turn to forgive and comfort him, or he may be overwhelmed by excessive sorrow. So I beg you to affirm your love for him. For this is why I wrote, that I might test you and know whether you are obedient in everything, so that we would not be outwitted by Satan, for we are not ignorant of his designs. Outwitted by Satan. Boy, he can use that against us, can he? Oh my gosh. He'll bring that unforgiveness and that situation or whatever in your mind all the time. As often as he can, or as often as you'll let it get in there. Because he knows that drives a wedge between you and someone else. He knows that that drives a wedge between you and God, because, you know, maybe you're driving yourself away from God a little bit. You know, like, how could you let them do that to me? Could you let them say that to me? I mean, I'm a good person. You know, because we're always the victim. Sometimes we do things too, you know. And, yeah, sometimes we're the one someone else is forgiving because we've done something to them, you know. You just have to, we're all human and we all make mistakes. We all say things we shouldn't. We all get the heat of the moment. We say things we ought not say. But we have to remember that God forgave us of a lot of things. You know, we're his children and he forgave us. But he wants us to forgive others. He set a good example for us so that we can forgive others. There's a section in this that I really wanted to go over more than the other. She talks about a friend in here that, you know, hurt her and things. And then she felt compelled to take a meal to her, that God was really working on her, that she needed to forgive this person, set the record straight, you know, whatever. So she goes over there and fixes a little meal and takes it to her. Well, then when she does that, they sit and talk and things, and she finds out that that lady had felt bad because of what she'd done to her. Other people were acting toward the lady also because they didn't like the way they'd done Priscilla, okay? So, you know, it was just a big circle, you know. So if you take the first step to forgive and just put yourself out there, you know. Now maybe your situation is where you can't do that. I mean, you can't go to the person, you don't want to take them a meal, you know, but you can forgive them. okay? And go on, you know, let it go. Let God handle it. He's the big shoulder guy. Let him just take it over. Don't be the judge and the jury. Just give it to him. He'll deal with whatever needs to be dealt with the way that he wants to do it. And that frees you from that whole burden. I mean, take them shackles off. It frees you from all that. It says, let's see. Let me make sure I'm finding the right page here I want to start on. All right, here we go. There's a lot of information in this chapter, but a lot of it's just the story. But I want to deal with more of how we can use this forgiveness to help us, okay? And I know we've only got so much time, and I hope I haven't lost your attention. So I'm on page 157, if anybody wants to come along with me here. It says, nobody needs to tell you how bad you're hurting from the injustices in your life. Even people who've suffered similar abuses or offenses as yours could never completely understand how your own rejections feel. Yours are personal and private and seemingly impossible to forgive. But forgive anyway, not because it's easy, but because your enemy gets exactly what he wants from you otherwise. Isn't that the truth? As long as you unforgive, Satan's got us right where he wants us. Forgive anyway, not lightly and quickly, but ferociously and fervently, not only for the other person, but mostly for you. So you can be free and full and whole and complete. That frees you up. It lets you be you. You're not shackled to that anymore. Let it go. Sit down here with me for a minute where we can almost clasp each other's hands across the table and listen to me closely. If you feel utterly, hopelessly, intolerably resistant toward forgiving this person or these people who've offended you, don't consider yourself a random victim. Now listen to this. The devil is behind this. He has ridden the coattails of your anger right into the depths of your soul, where he had carefully calculated your demise. He's been strategizing how to suck all the power out of your prayer life, out of your whole life. He's likely the same one who started the whole mess to begin with. Isn't that the truth? The same one who stirred up enough sin in another person to tempt them into doing whatever they did to you, into saying whatever they said to you, into feeling however they felt about you, perhaps how they still feel about you, even now. Satan, he's behind it all. He stirs up all these people, puts thoughts in their heads, words coming out of their mouth, actions that they're doing. You know, or even if he didn't start it, he's the same enemy who jumped onto the bandwagon of a bad situation in your life, hoping to make sure it didn't merely affect your finances or your job or the status of a friendship, but instead pierce deeply into your heart, where he could keep twisting it, inflaming it, where almost any memory or passing thought of it could poke at you, pick at you, draw blood, inflict new damage. Take everything to God in prayer. How about that? That was a song that played on my clock just then. Where almost any memory or passing thought of it could poke at you, pick at you, draw blood, inflict new damage, okay? Make no mistake, it is his doing, by specific design. Hurting you once wasn't enough. Those times when the original incidents happened, times when you were mistreated or betrayed or belittled, no, that level of pain just wasn't quite enough for him. He wanted more. He wanted permanent loss, personality change. He wanted to redefine how you thought about God, about yourself, about others, even about those people who truly love you and intend only good for you. He wanted you fixated and patterned in your thinking so that few things would seem more dear or desirable to you than paying them back and getting your revenge. He wants you sobbing, or better yet, just seething, the kind of emotion that doesn't come out in crying and visible reactions, but instead just cooks inside of you, where the heat has no place to escape, where the tears pull up and stagnate, creating a petri dish of toxic emotions that you're forced to keep breathing. He wants you baking in unforgiveness until your spiritual life is hard and crisp around the edges, lifeless, comatose. And right here where it says he wanted you fixated and patterned in your thinking so that few things would seem more dear or desirable to you than paying them back and getting your revenge. Boy, isn't that the way we want to turn to that is, oh yeah, well you take this, or oh yeah, well you wait till I'll tell them this, about you. I mean, that's the way we are, especially I think sometimes women probably more than men. I don't know. Maybe men just take it out on each other. I don't know. But sometimes women are revengeful and deceitful and behind the scenes, I don't know. But, yeah, women and men might be a little different in that area, but women might be more conniving. I don't know. But we really, any human nature, you want to get even. You want to get back at them. Oh, yeah, well, you wait till I tell them what you said about them, I know we've all been there. Oh, my goodness. And Satan just eats that up. I mean, he just kicked back laughing his butt off at us, probably. Like, really, people, you can't see what I'm doing here? This is too much fun. You're so easy. I mean, can you imagine what Satan's probably saying? We have got to pray that we've got to release ourselves from all this bondage that we've got and forgive ourselves, forgive other people especially, and move on and cut them ropes off from Satan because he's got us tied to him, and that's not going to work. Not at all. Jesus wants you free. That's what he created you for. Forgive us our debts, he taught us to pray, as we also have forgiven our debtors. Followed a couple of verses later by the statement, for if you forgive others for their transgressions, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, he handles our offenses too, The whole counsel of Scripture affirms that our salvation, our eternal security with God, is based solely on the work of Jesus on the cross. No action or inaction on our part, such as struggling to forgive someone who's wounded you, could sever the covenant of grace he's made with us. But something at least happens to our experience with the Father when we persist on holding others' sins against them. Unforgiveness puts us in prime position for demonic influence and activity to take advantage of us. And anything that dampens or deadens the freedom that God's mercy is meant to give us, can it really be worth holding on to? I mean, is it really worth it? Is that one instance particular with that person that you don't forgive them for, is it worth it? Is it worth your salvation? Is it worth your peace with God? Is it worth your peace of mind? Is it worth taking your time away from God to worry about that situation all the time and to mull in it and just stir in it? It's not. It's not worth it. His forgiveness is freedom. Yes, his forgiveness of you is what makes your forgiveness possible toward others. Realize that you are lying back already in a vast blue ocean of forgiveness, same as me, same as all of us who've been redeemed through the blood of Jesus. So there's more than enough of his forgiveness splashing around to extinguish all the flames of rage, hatred, bitterness, or animosity your enemy may have ignited within you. Remembering what Christ's redemption has done for you will make you eager to do it for someone else. Isn't that true? Ephesians 2 in verse 1, 4, and 5, it says, you are dead in your trespasses and sins, but God, being rich in mercy because of his great love with which he loved us, made us alive together with Christ. Start from that point, and then you can much more determinedly give peace to others because it's so lavishly given to you. And I think I'm probably going to stop right there because, isn't it true that, he forgives us for stuff all the time. Things that we've done. Things that we've done to others that we've asked forgiveness for. That we might have even asked forgiveness from the person that we did it to. But, it's just, I don't know. We have to concentrate on forgiving other people because life's too short, and whatever the situation was, you know, maybe it's something you're really going to have to pray about to forgive that person. You know, you can't just go, okay, I'll forgive him. You know, no. You know, everybody's situation is different. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you an idea that God forgives us. We are supposed to likewise forgive others. Doesn't mean you have to be their best friend again. Doesn't mean you have to get around them. Doesn't mean you have to hang out with them. But you can let it go. You know, if people start talking about them, you don't want to talk about them. You don't want to hear about it, whatever. You don't want to hear their name, their story, whatever. Just walk away. You don't have to go, I ain't talking about them. I can't stand that person. You know, we're not going to do that. No, that's wrong. You have to forgive, you know. And if someone's, you know, telling a little story about that person or something, you know, you can, you know, I'm talking about a nice story, not gossip or nothing. Just, you know, like, oh, you know what so-and-so did the other day? You know, she was driving around town and, you know, she had a flat tire and, you know, whatever. Just a story. I'm not talking about gossip, bad stuff about people. I'm just talking about, you know, if you feel you can stand there and truly you have forgiven that person, you can stand there and just listen to the story, you know, and not be fake about it, but just, you know, that's fine, you know, just like nothing happened, kind of. If not, just, you know, just casually walk away. But, you know, you have got to forgive them in your heart. And that keeps you closer to God and frees you up from the bondage of that situation. Well, that's all I'm going to say about that. I think it's pretty clear. I think we all figured that out anyway, but that just brings it to our mind that we need to pray about it. Fervently pray. Fervently pray about it. And ask God, you know, tell God to help you with that situation, that you need to forgive that person. Well, I'm going to do a couple more videos. I might do another one or two today while Oscar's mowing. So you're going to probably see me in a couple videos in the same clothes. I can go change my shirt, but it's still going to be just me. So who cares what shirt I'm wearing, because I'm not changing shirts just to pretend I'm somewhere else on another day, because I'm here today. So if I do 2 more videos with this shirt on, it's probably today if my hair's like this, because I was mowing grass. I got up this morning, got all ready, got my hair all done and everything. And I didn't know he was going to mow grass today. So I'm like, great. So then I tweaked my hair all up on my head to mow grass, put one of them bandana things on. I look like a woolly booger monster out there. I'm on grass. Oh my goodness. It was so hot. I didn't care what I looked like. I just wanted to get it done. But anyway, I'm going to be doing a couple more videos. I have to get to y'all's questions, and I will. If you have any questions you want to ask me, put it in the comments. What I'm going to have to do is go back over my videos and look in the comments to see what people have asked me that I have not answered yet. Hopefully you're all watching the videos. In case I've answered one within another video, you'll see it.